Yeah, it's original.
It's pretty good.
It was like crazy,
Yeah.
even for that sort of stuff. I don't know. Maybe it'll get better.
Hopefully.
That's all right. Hello, everyone. My name's Dan, and welcome to The Other Side, the show that gives you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Most of the time. As always, we have my beautiful co-host, and the main reason I have trouble falling in love, Dylan Woodland.
Thanks. Good to be back on the show, man. And sorry about that
That's
as well.
okay. It's the beard, I think.
Probably the bit. It just tracks everything.
That's all right. Our first rotating host for this week is the person responsible for the moon landing footage and the invention of the scented candle, Lara McKenzie.
Hey,
Thanks for coming in, Lara.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
News to me, but yeah.
Yeah, oh, well, no, thank you so much for the scented
And
candles.
those are, they're
problem.
pretty impressive feats you got there.
It makes my bath times a lot more relaxing. It's great. Finally, our second guest host is rumoured to get his power by offering his soul to the ginger sun god and showering in nothing but strawberry milk. It's Matt Justin.
Hey guys.
So that's really cool. I like that you sort of do that. Is it
It's
good
different.
for the skin? Is
Like,
it-
yeah, no, you get like that really nice natural moon tan when you shower in the milk.
Yeah, yeah.
It must
really
get
good.
expensive though.
See, for my
Milk
moon
comes from
tan,
everywhere, man.
So hard
Any
to get
animal
moon
you can get milk from.
Oh god, I don't even want to ask.
That's cool. But yeah, so thank you so much for coming in, guys.
We got another episode of The Other Side, which is always exciting.
Yeah,
It's always
exactly.
good to be on the set.
Always good to see new faces as well.
It is,
Hopefully we'll
yeah.
see
You guys haven't been on the show before.
more into it as well. But we might as well get stuck into our first segment, which is Movie Roulette.
So welcome to another segment of Movie Roulette. Well, each week we pick a random movie out of the hat, watch it, and then review it on the following week. The hat contains over 100 different movies from all genres, timeframes, and ratings. So how did you think the movie watching went this week, guys? We picked Bernie last
Yeah,
show.
Bernie was the film. It was so that one's the starring Jack Black and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really good. So for those who don't know, it basically follows Bernie Tiede, I think his name was.
Yeah,
and
something like that.
and it follows this guy, and he's like the nicest guy in town, and he strives so hard to be nice to everyone that he meets.
Yeah.
And then he meets this one old lady, and he just has to prove himself to her, but it goes too far. He ends up killing her.
Yeah, so we actually got some
Accidentally.
facts about the movie before we
Yeah,
get
yeah.
into the discussion. So in 2014, the real Bernie was actually released from prison after his lifetime sentence was reduced to a time served of 15 years. So one of the conditions of this release was that he had to live in a garage apartment of the home of Richard Linklater, the director of the movie, that was as he was accounting his crimes.
So that's pretty cool because that's like sort of very much research.
Yeah, can you imagine having like a criminal living in your house, in your garage?
He was innocent.
But the
He
point,
didn't do
the
it.
point is, I think in the movie expresses this as well. He is a criminal, but
He's a
he-
loving criminal, and
he's
that's
a
what I
loving
like
guy.
about
Yeah.
the movie too.
even though
We can
you
talk
know
about
he killed a guy, I
Yeah.
think I'd still invite him
Well,
around. for
the gun
Team
itself
Stone.
even just felt like a BB gun. I didn't actually realize he killed it for ages.
Yeah, yeah.
Like-
It was a very sort of soft sort of thing. I don't know.
And it was kind of accidental too, which is the kind of the movie explains as well. So they kind of like, and that's why I like
Accidents.
Yeah.
Guns are down in cold blood.
accidental and yeah.
No, but it's like it's sort of like a big thing as well. Like especially since he didn't realize that this is what he kind of wanted to, was thinking. It just sort of happened. He killed this woman, and then he just made the best of the situation, and then just started using her money to just completely rebuild the community and everything. And Matthew McConaughey's character, which you just saw, is the only person that believes he's a bad guy. And the crazy thing is, this is based on a true story. So like as we said before, this real guy, actually the whole town of Carthage actually really did not want him to go to jail, even though
Yeah,
he came out
they had to like
outright.
move towns for the
Exactly.
court case.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy.
They-
And I had no idea it was a true story. And then I saw that in the credits. I was like, wow.
They knew that he was guilty of killing this person. They didn't care. They wanted
Yeah.
him out.
That's crazy.
And I
That's-
think that's why it was such a remarkable story.
So
it was so different.
yeah, it
No,
was.
yeah.
I think that's what I liked. Yeah.
And what did you guys think about coming into the movie? Because I didn't know anything about it at
Yeah,
the time.
I
knew
had
the
no
premise.
idea. I thought I was going in for a comedy.
The trailer really
I did
doesn't
not
know.
give you
Yeah.
much, and especially Jack Black because he's been in a lot
Yeah.
of comedies.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
Actually, when I was researching this a little bit as well after I watched it, the script originally, the film wasn't going to be made because the script was so dry. The everything they read through it and they're just like, this is boring. The producers weren't going to give money, but then they just said it's the actors, it's the characters that make this film, and then
Yeah.
they cast Jack Black.
And I think he totally made the film as
Yeah.
well. He was so funny and he just
Yeah.
portrayed the character so well. It made me fall in love with his character. Even though he was portraying a potentially bad person, a criminal that had killed this little lady, it was
Which is
still
pretty
like,
bad.
yeah, you still felt for him the whole way through it.
Because I don't know about you guys.
He's trying to get out through the driveway, and then she just closes it, and
Yeah.
she's like,
Yeah.
"You're not leaving me, never."
'Cause
And
I-
I'm just like, okay.
It was pretty full on.
Like, are you normally a Jack Black fan?
Yeah,
Lara?
I do like him. But on another note, Matthew McConaughey, I know a lot of people are a bit
lot of
iffy
people
about
don't
him,
like
but
him.
I actually
I
liked
used
it.
to
I
hate
thought
his
it was
acting;
good.
it annoyed me. And then he grew on me. Like
We all saw
seeing
Interstellar.
Interstellar and True Detective, and after seeing that, I was just like, this guy can act.
Yeah, and
It's
this movie was kind of made before that, I think, a couple of years before. So it was kind of, it
Yeah.
felt like to me it was like his like transition because he was in a lot of comedies beforehand, and a lot of all
Yeah, yeah.
those like typical girl movies and stuff, and wrote a Bachelor of the Year and stuff. And then it kind of went like more serious, and then True Detective, where he was playing
Yeah.
like this
That was an
washed out
amazing
cop,
character.
it was crazy. And then even Interstellar, it was like he was more skinny in that, and
Yeah.
yeah.
He's not afraid to change for the art that he wants to do, which is
Yeah, he's
fantastic.
cool.
The other thing I feel like we should talk about as well, how did you feel about the whole documentary style of this film?
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
The cutaways, I loved when they interviewed all the older people in the town and they got all
Yeah.
those point of views and perspectives.
Yeah,
I
it
thought
made
that was
it
cool.
it made it very real.
And the other
Yeah.
cool thing about this, again, researching into this, the large majority of those townspeople that they interview as in the documentary style in this film were actually the real townspeople from Carthage.
So they're actually like reminiscing the actual guy.
They're actually talking about the actual Bernie Tiede,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. Cool. It saves on production time as well, which is awesome. So I don't know. I guess to wrap this up, out of 5, how would you guys rate this? Let's go start with Lara.
I'm going to go 4.
You're going to go 4 out of 5?
I thought it was different enough that I thought it was great, but yeah, I'm going to stick with 4.
Awesome. Matt, what do you reckon?
I reckon maybe 3.5.
Okay,
Still
awesome.
a
Like,
pretty good
that's
rating.
pretty
Yeah,
decent.
like I'd probably I'd definitely watch it again. And I reckon on a second watching you could even enjoy it more potentially.
Yeah. Well, what about you,
yeah.
Dylan?
I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5, just because I felt like I was drawn in. It's a bit slow to start with, but it needed that character development, and then it kind of it got you in, and then it captured you, and it was a unique story. It was really good.
Yeah. And I think for my thing as well, I think I'm just going to give it a 4 out of 5 as well, because it truly was just came out of nowhere and it wasn't what I was expecting, which is great.
So yeah, all in all, I think good rating.
Ended out
Go
there.
watch
Yeah.
it.
Good
It's a good
film.
movie. Yeah.
But we've got more after this, so make sure you stay tuned.
We also have to pick the next movie.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I want. Let's,
I'm excited to know what
so,
it
Lara,
is.
can you pass us?
I'll pass it over.
Well, yeah, you can get rid of that one.
Yeah, let's just chuck that over there. My pen as well, seemingly. All right, cool. Okay,
All right.
let's do it.
We're
Let's do
doing
this.
this.
Ready?
Hopefully, it's a good movie. Come on. Here we go. It follows.
It follows.
I haven't seen that one.
I have. I love it, but I'm gonna watch it again because it's a fantastic film. So
There you go.
I'm
I'll
keen.
have to watch it before we film next week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, now let's actually do this. We'll go to an ad break and we'll be right back after this.
Hey, guess what? University can be for everyone. At USQ, we believe that if you want to study, then you should be able to. That's why we have a range of programs designed to make university a reality for people who may not have finished high school or got an OP. So let us help find the right pathway for you. First up is the Tertiary Preparation Program. Even if you never completed high school, this program is a great starting point. It'll help you catch up by developing the study skills you'll need for uni. It's not only free, but we'll give you guaranteed entry when you successfully complete the program. Bonus! If you know you want to study in the business, engineering, science or social sciences areas, then perhaps a foundation diploma is a better path for you. You'll hit the ground running with an applied introduction to your course, and you'll earn credit towards your first year of study too. Have we mentioned guaranteed entry? We also have a pathway reserved for people of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander descent. Our Indigenous Higher Education Pathways program gives you the chance to follow your dreams and make a difference. It's also free. Okay, so we've come to our most advanced pathway. This pathway is especially for people who have already done some study, like a Cert 3 or 4 course at an institution like TAFE. Learning is never a waste at USQ. You'll get credit where credit is due. We'll take it into account as part of your application. It's never too late to learn, so no matter your situation, remember, there's always a way to get to uni. Don't stress if it all sounds like too many options. Talk to us. We're here to show you the way.
And welcome back to The Other Side. Now, the second segment for today is a slightly different one. Our friend Jackson will be guiding us through how to make a delicious meal on a uni budget in less than 10 minutes. Let's not put this off any longer. Here's Jackson's Kitchen.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Jackson's Kitchen. Today on the menu, we're cooking nachos. It's a nice, well, not nice, rainy day outside. So what I like doing days like these is just sit down and just have a nice big bowl of nachos. So let's get into it. Our ingredients today, of course, we have our tortilla chips. I got two different varieties, the cheesy nachos and the extreme cheese. I just picked all of these ingredients were picked up from Woolies, and the tortilla chips were 2 for $6, so $3 each. We have the refried beans, any brand really. These were just $2. We have the salsa mix. This one's the medium, this one's the mild, and this one's the medium. And they were around about $4 today. Of course, we have our shredded chicken, where you can go a beef variety if you feel like it. Went chicken today because my producer said so. And the light and tasty cheese, which you should substitute for mozzarella, but it's the same thing. And that was about $5.50, and the chicken was $7. So overall, if you're just getting this for 2 people, 3 people, it's around about $20. So it's nice. So start off, we want to heat up the oven, preheat to about 220 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. And while that's heating up, you can start organizing your nachos. Spray a little bit of oil onto it. So start chucking on your nachos, not all over the table, preferably on the tray. You can use either one of these. So medium or mild, go with medium. I'm feeling it. Nice and easy to open. Basically, you want to get a nice thick layer over as many as you possibly can. From there, you want to get either your chicken or your cheese. Depends on what you want to use first. We'll just go chicken because it's closer. Just grab it and kind of scatter it around as you see fit. But like I said, you can go with the beef version of this, which is quite nice. I think I prefer beef, but chicken is still quite nice. And we want to make sure that we're mixing everything in, making sure that no chips are left behind. Then we can start with my favorite bit, which is the cheese. So basically you just want to get a nice big handful and just scatter it over. So this is looking good so far. And what I can do after I chuck on about 1,000 kilos of cheese is just mix that in just a little bit. And from here, we want to put this into the oven. So it's been heating up at 220. Well, that's nice and hot. And just slide that one in. Watch your hands. Maybe a little hot. And we chuck that in. And from there, we have about, give or take, 8 to 12 minutes cooking that to make it more crispy or less, depending on what you want. I'm going to leave that in there for around about 10 minutes. And in give or take 5 minutes from now, we're going to start cooking the refried beans in the saucepan. All right, so now as we wait for that to cook, like I said, around about 10 minutes, we're now going to cook our refried beans. So just grab some of these. And like I said, we're cooking this in the saucepan today. And what you want to do, so you want to turn it to about a medium heat. Put on this, nice and hot. So that'll be nice and heating up. Basically what you want to do is just grab around about 2 tablespoons of water. So now we open up our can of refried beans. Oh, it's already done. And we basically, watch out for these sharp edges. I nearly just cut myself there. And this should be heating up to a nice little temperature now. We just really want to scoop this in. Now, doesn't that just look delicious? pretty much, if you want to get guac, you put that in the oven with everything else. So now we get a rubber spoon. This one I prepared, has some cheese on it, and we kind of just want to mix in the water with the refried beans just around the pan. 4 to 5 minutes. And that should be nice. So now this is looking pretty good. God, that's looking very good. Make sure you always protect your hands when you're taking this out. Oh, would you look at that? Oh my God. That right there is what dreams are made of. And if we had another one of these, another one of the things, we'd be able to chuck the refried beans on top. But what I can do, just an easy way, the refried beans are looking pretty good. Always make sure you turn off your oven and stove when you're done with it. Burn down your house. And straight from this, make sure you scrape everything together, give that nice consistency. Just grab a big spoonful and you want to put it just in the middle of your plate. Now you can make that into a dome if you will. I prefer doing this, like I said, having it as a bit of a dipping sauce. And do the other one. Grab one side, scrape underneath. That's looking very good. And that's it this week for Jackson's Kitchen. Join us next time. Still haven't figured out what I'm gonna make. I'm not that far ahead, but you know, we'll make something really good. So be keen for that. Thanks guys, I'm gonna dig in. All right, dig in. Nice, get some refried beans. That my hands get dirty.
So, you're in high school and wondering, do I want to go to uni? Well, the first thing you have to know is that high school and uni are very different worlds. For one thing, life at uni is really flexible. Depending on what suits you best, you can study full-time, part-time, online or on campus. You can learn at your own pace too, deciding whether to take your time or speed up your degree. The choice is yours. And you don't need to go all day, every day either. You can sort out a timetable that allows you to do a lot more than just study. And you'll need it. There are heaps of clubs, groups and activities to get involved with. And of course, fun to be had. You can say goodbye to that school uniform too. There's no dress code at uni, so you can finally wear what you want. Looking good. But what if you're not ready to start uni straight after high school? Well, did you know that you have 3 months off over summer? When you're a uni student, you can look forward to this long break every year. If you're thinking you'd like to see the world while you study, you can. There are some great study abroad and exchange options available. The thing to remember is that university is a journey where you're in charge of where you go. Yes, you have freedom, but that means you need to make it happen for yourself. Just how far you go is up to you. Uni is all about balance, and if you can get it right, it can really be the time of your life.
All right, everyone, welcome back to The Other Side. Now it is time for the final segment of the week, which is Talking Point.
I like the popping.
All right, guys, so this is Talking Point. In Talking Point, we discuss a certain topic and present our opinions. So, today's topic is this one. Are gun control laws in Australia justified, and do they work in comparison to the gun laws they have in place in America?
That's a pretty good topic.
Now, that's a pretty big and
It is.
very recent topic. Well, not too recent, but it's sort of come again to light, especially in America here.
Yeah, well, not really in Australia, but because of everything that's going on in America, it's been a big issue across the world.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's that's why I thought it'd be probably a good thing to like get an opinions from you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off by just asking you guys, obviously living in Australia, what are your opinions when it comes to firearms and gun laws?
Well, I don't know, Dan. I've never held a gun. We've got good laws
Yeah.
against that.
Yeah, no, me either.
So you guys have never ever.
Probably the closest I've got is playing paintball. So
Yeah, I love paintball.
So, we'll talk about this more later, actually. But you do actually need a licensed to own a paintball gun. But we will talk more about that later. So you guys haven't actually, even Dylan, you haven't held a gun or anything?
Only an air rifle, which doesn't really count. But no, I don't know, and I haven't really felt the need.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
hold a gun
I've had
either.
the prop weapons like decommissioned guns and stuff,
yeah.
but like
See, for
nothing
me,
that
'cause
functions.
See, I grew up on a farm, and it was sort of one of the things that my dad showed me how to use a gun, and I'm kind of happy that he did, and that's sort of my experience. I'm happy that I know how to use one, but I still very much like these gun laws. So as far as the laws, do you think they should be in place? These laws?
Well, yeah, I mean, have you seen this movie called Bernie? Like, they've got a gun just for killing like little animals that get on their lawn and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that, he kills her because that gun's there.
Exactly. So so you believe it's good that we have these licensing
Yeah,
things in
I
place.
mean, like it was just convenient, so
Yeah.
he did it.
I feel safe,
Yeah.
in Australia, with the gun laws that we have. I feel like I can walk down the street at night and not have someone pull a gun on me.
Well, and that's definitely like a good thing, and
Just like a
safety was
knife
one
or
of the big
something
things.
instead.
Because I mean, we'll talk more about this later, but one of the big things that brought this thing around was the Port Arthur massacre, which I think it was 35 people died with another, along with
17
another
or something injured.
17 injured or something like that, and which is
And
incredibly
that
bad.
is like the biggest massacre that has happened.
It's
as a
still one of the
shooting, yeah.
biggest worldwide massacres done committed by a single person. And that is scary that came from Australia. But yet, when they brought that up, they sort of went, guys, I think we need to take away these guns and put some laws against them. And everyone just sort of went, oh, yeah, I guess that's reasonable, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's good that Australia's sort of accepted that. Obviously, no matter what, there's going to be people that don't want that.
Yeah, there's going to be the minority,
And doing this research, I've found interviews with people, and they've gone, you know what, I didn't like that they were taking my guns away to start off with, but now that it's 10 years later, I am very, very happy that they've done this, and I feel a lot safer.
Yeah, I mean, all those things we hear happening in America at all the schools
Yeah.
could be here as well, but
could
we
be.
don't have the guns. So
Exactly.
how's it going to
Have
happen?
you've seen Bowling for Columbine, that documentary?
Yeah, most of it, yeah.
Yeah, well, some of the views on that and the way you see America, it's just, wow. It's mind-blowing. Like, the fact that you can open a bank account and get a free gun.
Yeah.
Like, what?
They have it as an extra to things, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And
It's almost a lifestyle choice. It isn't it's gone past the point of protection, It's
Yeah.
cool to have a gun, it almost feels
Yeah,
like.
it's-
And what I think the Americans, some of them, I know a lot of them do understand this and still don't like it, but a lot of them don't understand that, you actually get a license. We're not saying you can never have a gun ever again. It's
Yeah.
just saying that if you want a gun, you have to have a license.
Just go to the extra effort and go to the extra safety, and then you've got your gun. You can go
Yeah.
to the rifle range, you can go out shooting in the wild if you want.
Exactly.
But
And there's nothing wrong with it. I'll actually read you a little bit about the Australian licensing. So, anyone wishing to possess or use a firearm must have a firearms license, and with some exceptions, be over the age of 18. Owners must also have secure storage for their firearms, and there are 6 categories of licenses that determine the firearms that someone may own. However, there are restricted weapons as well, and they cannot be owned by anyone unless they have a collector's license, and these restricted weapons have been deactivated and decommissioned. So that's there is certain weaponry that they do not let in this country unless it's completely it couldn't hurt a fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically they're not going to let people have a gun that they think could misuse it. It's going to be only people who can actually properly take care of this weapon will have one.
And exactly, and I've got the process here. I've got here as well. So you have to be an Australian resident. They can see that you live there. And they actually go through, make sure you're a fit and proper person. I looked into that, and there is mental examinations and sort of stuff. It's not too harsh, but
That's cool.
it'll pick up if you're doing
Because if you're
you're
going to
buying a
walk
gun
down
for a wrong reason.
a shopping mall or a school shooting down people, you're probably not going to be sane.
Yeah, exactly. And then, the Port Arthur massacre, they did see it later on that he was, intellectually disabled.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing. But there's they must have no criminal offences in the past 5 years. they must have a reason for having a license. So just because I want one isn't good enough. It
Which
needs-
is fair.
Yeah, which is definitely fair. Like, you don't need one if you just want to have a gun in the house. That's not a good reason. You must also demonstrate appropriate training, but a lot of times when you go for licenses, they'll supply the training as well. You must have a secure place to store it, and you must be registered at a gun range. And the other big thing as well, which America really don't like this, as we're like looking into a lot of the research, is the mandatory waiting period of up to 28 days. So when you go to apply for a license, they purposely don't send it to you for about 28 days.
See, I thought America had something similar to that.
No, it's like when I looked into it, there's a lot of the states because when I was doing this, they've got graphs and they show the different states and they say in this state you are able to own it and you're able to buy it. However, you're not allowed to carry it in public. And then there's another state that says you can't,
makes sense.
like that you
Yeah.
can carry it in public or you can't, and there's just changes without the states. Some you need a license to carry as well, like say like pistols and stuff in public. You need to be able to carry, and obviously like schools and stuff like that are no zones. So that's the big thing that I sort of found the research there. Just a bit of statistics for that in America as well. 270 million civilian firearms are in America. So that's how many just are owned just without the license, because that's the law, are owned by civilians.
When you think about that, we have a population of something like 23 million.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of people with guns.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
scary.
that's crazy.
And you know, we talked about being fit and proper intellectually. It's like, do they pass these tests? Like a lot of them, they can just go in, pick them up off the shelf, and go and buy them.
See, that also raises some concern. Did they ever try to change these laws? Which I know certain people in Parliament have been doing that, trying to push for that. How are they going to get 270 million guns off the streets? Like,
Yeah, like you'd have to raid the house pretty intently.
Yeah, exactly. And
It'd be a big task. Like, that's
Yeah.
a big project.
Look, yeah, well, I guess the next thing is like, can you guys see where the Americans are coming from when they say they sort of want guns? Because like, if you could,
Really? It's really, they just want the guns to defend themselves from other people with guns.
well, that's what I was sort of trying to
They're
like,
just
get to.
objects. It's people behind the guns that are causing the
Yeah,
issues.
it could just be like they're scared that the only people who will hand their guns in if they take them away will be the people who are actually handling them properly. So then the people who don't take care of guns and just misuse them will be the ones left because they'll hide them.
Well, do you think protection is a good enough reason to own a gun?
Well, I mean, you've
What do you
seen Home
mean?
Alone. They don't use a single weapon in that film, and he defends his home pretty well.
yeah, that is
Well,
true.
So-
you know, there you go, there you go, kids. If you,
Watch Home Alone, learn some tips.
Yeah.
it's the new Bear Grylls, which is fantastic. So
Yeah, I think it's more of like the what if syndrome. Like, what if they take away my gun and then I'm left unprotected, you know? And, you know, these people have grown up their whole lives owning this stuff, and it's kind of like, I don't want to know what it's like to not have one around.
And that I can understand, because we've all gone through that withdrawal of something. Something's taken away from us, and you know we're not used to the change.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I can understand that. However,
Well, I guess they've grown up with having everyone, it's normal to have a gun around them,
Yeah.
whereas we aren't. So our perspective on that would be different. And maybe they'd feel like they weren't as safe if they were taken away, and that could be,
yeah.
I just, it's just sad whenever a story comes up in the news about a massacre in the States, and it feels like it's every week. At the
Yeah, I find
moment,
it sad because it's like a social norm to hear, oh, a school shooting, okay.
Yeah.
Which one was it this time?
Well, that's the crazy thing as well, because like I'm not sure if you've seen them. There's the videos of Barack Obama giving, because obviously he has to give the speeches after each of one of these massacres, and you just sort of, you can see it in his face, you can see it in his eyes. He is tired of giving these speeches.
as he should be.
Yeah, he was just like, I can only do so much, and these people aren't letting me change these laws because, there's too many people against it, and he's getting tired of having to report on these kids and like young people.
I don't think the whole reasoning for just protecting yourself justifies the amount of people that are being killed on a yearly basis.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I mean, if people are being shot, then is that protecting yourself? When
Yeah,
you shot that
exactly.
that person probably wasn't protecting themselves.
And that's the thing. Do we want to wait for like? Because I feel like one of the things that might change them is sort of like once it's too late. Like, do we want that? Well, obviously we don't want this, but like the Port Arthur massacre, like something like that's going to happen and it's going to finally click. But we don't want to have to wait till that
yeah,
point.
Yeah.
something should be done
Because that was incredible. Like as I said, 35 people killed, 23 wounded. and it was a popular tourist site. And like I was reading through that on the internet, they actually go like detailed through
Yeah.
it,
Wow.
which are like exactly what happened. So I guess to wrap up, then you guys definitely all like 100%.
Pretty happy with our gun laws.
Yeah,
over here.
Yeah,
I'm happy living
very.
in Australia.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy. I think if you need a gun, you should just get a license, and that should be the end of it. But make sure you stick around. There's more other side after this ad break.
Hi. So right now, you may be wondering if USQ is for you. Well, for starters, don't think you need to fit some sort of student stereotype.
We had an enormous variety of students, so it didn't matter whether you were straight from school, mature age or somewhere in between. You managed to find more people like you, and it also led to some pretty interesting friendships because you had that diversity in the student body.
I came to university straight from school.
I can go to work and not have to worry about going to uni.
I actually finished school at grade 10.
In both sides of my family, I'm the first one to go.
I have 4 stepchildren, and I also have a 6 and a 4-year-old little girls. And then Wednesdays and Thursdays I work full days here, so it's very busy.
We understand we're all unique, so we've designed programs to fit in with your lifestyle. We have 3 great campuses you can come to, and we also offer distance education and online programs. Full-time, part-time, from the couch, in your work lunch break, or a combination. And with 3 semesters, you can spread the workload so you can still have a life. You choose how you study. In fact, the flexibility at USQ allows 75% of our students to study with us online. So even if you're feeling life is already busy, you're not alone.
I think I've made the best possible decision I could ever make for my career and my life. In fact, I sit here and think, why didn't I do this years ago? Why did I wait till now?
And you'll never be alone. As soon as you enrol at USQ, you're paired with your very own Student Relationship Officer, or SRO for short. They're there to help with anything you need.
This is my SRO, Heather. She is my saviour.
We support students. Everyone's different. We get to know them quite well, so we know pretty much what they're asking before they even ask.
Even if you're not sure you can get into uni, we can provide you with advice on how to get into your program of choice, whether it be an undergraduate, postgraduate, or even doctorate program. Give us a call to discuss your eligibility and programs to get you back into the study frame of mind. Together, we'll work out the best pathway for you.
I consider myself really lucky. It sort of like fell on the feet when I came here. It's just brilliant.
I really love going to university, and I can't believe it took me 3 years after high school to decide to go. I was a bit nervous about starting, but after the first week, I was in love with it. And now I'm 3rd year, and I don't want to graduate because I'm having too much fun.
So all you need to do is relax, smile, and talk to us about how to make studying a reality.
And welcome back to The Other Side. Sadly, that is all that we have time for today, which sucks.
Yeah, I know. This show's been great.
Yeah, no, we've had a lot of fun.
Had a good time.
You know, doing Bernie and talking about the gun laws.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny, even though it got really real towards the end. It's good to know you guys, how you guys feel, and you're on our side with all this.
Oh, completely, yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
No, that's a good thing. I'd like to take this opportunity though, to thank, first of all, Matt Jeston for coming on the show.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Great. Yeah, I love getting real with you guys. It was good.
No, it was awesome. Well, make sure you go home and have a nice shower and some strawberry milk.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Work on that tan a little bit. That'll be cool. And pray to the ginger sun gods.
Twice a day.
Twice a day. Okay, there you go.
3 times
So
if
you want the
he
powers-
behaves, 3 times.
If you want the powers that Matt has, make sure you
Yeah.
do that. Okay, and then lastly, I'd also like to thank Laura McKenzie for coming on the show as well.
Thank you for
great having
having
you,
me,
Lara.
guys. It's been a blast.
You enjoy yourself?
awesome.
Oh, for sure.
We'll have to have you back, both
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah, because we'll get you in the first shows as well, with where we do
General knowledge.
general knowledge
Yeah.
deathmatch and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're always
And
fun.
Great.
I'm going to blitz it. You're going to wear the hat. I don't want to wear it.
Lara's not a hat
be
I'll
nice,
person.
study for this.
You can't study. You know the topics on the wheel, but that's it.
There's only so much you can do. I'd also like to thank my beautiful co-host, Dylan Woodland, for coming in as well.
Great being on the show with you, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been good.
But he's going to be back
We'll have
next
to get
week.
you in another time, man.
Yeah, we'll have to come on again. If you want to check this out, we're on Phoenix Media Hub as well as the Other Side YouTube page. We're also going to be broadcasted on Phoenix Radio, and the times that will be broadcasted will be on those other 2 websites, so make sure you stay tuned. And we've got more coming, another episode of this next week. But till then, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.